G'day folks, it's Phil from 15-Minute Guitar Practice here. How are you? Today we're going to look at playing several levels of Happy Birthday. Now I know what you're thinking. You're like, bro, this is kid stuff. What the hell are you doing? Well, indeed, learning to play Happy Birthday is basic. But as we go up the levels, you'll be able to hear how it changes. And we'll talk about some of the things that are going on and the theory behind it. Let's get on with level 1. We're going to do it in G. And we are going to start like this. We're going to go Happy Birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear whomever. Happy birthday to you. Okay, easy enough, right? We went from G, 1 bar of G, to 2 bars of D, back to G, 2 bars, to C, 1 bar, and then a quick change from G, D, G. Now if you're a beginner, that quick change might be too tricky for you, so you can just leave out the move to the D and just stay on the G. Okay, that's level 1. Super basic, super easy, and I know you're still looking at me going, dude, teach me something. Okay, level 2, we're going to add a few other chords and some inversions. We're going to go up like this. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear whomever. Happy birthday to you. And then go for the big ending. Thank you, good night. So what do we do there? Well, we kept things moving by, instead of playing 2 bars of just the basic D, happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, we changed it out for a D7 in the 2nd bar. So we went happy birthday to you, G to D, then D7, happy birthday, then back to G to you. So what we've done when we have moved to this D7 chord and then back to the G is create a momentary tension which is resolved when we go back to the G. Now this is really common in all kinds of music. We're in the key of G major, and what's happened here is we've got this 5-1 resolution. In the key of G major, the 5 chord is D7, and we're moving to the 1 chord. And that's a very satisfying resolution. And you will hear this kind of 5-1 all the time in music. I mean, if it turns up in something as simple as Happy Birthday, then you can imagine all the other places it turns up also. What's happening is we introduce this momentary tension, and that tension is created by this note here, this C note. Okay, because that makes it, that's the flat 7 of the D7 chord, and then we resolve to the G. And the reason it feels so satisfying is that this C note is 1 fret higher than one of the notes in the next chord, one of the notes in the G. So it goes from here to here. Okay, we get, and that's why it feels so good. And this kind of introduction of a pitch which is either 1 fret above or more commonly 1 fret below where you're going to end up as your next chord is also very common. So remember that. And then we did this weird thing, happy birthday, and you were like, dude, what's the weird fingers? What's going on here? Okay, this is an inversion of the G chord, alright? and it looks weird because I played it here. What we've done is take the G triad being a chord with 3 different pitches in it. It usually goes root, 3rd, 5th, and we've just started with the lowest note being the 3rd, so we've gone 3rd, 5th, root. Okay, now, looks weird here, but you could just have easily just played a G chord here, but not played the bottom E and played the 3rd here, so just not playing the bottom E string. So we've introduced this inversion of G with the B note as the lowest note, the B note, in the bass. Now we've done this because, well, where are we heading next? To the C chord, which is 1 fret higher than where we currently are with that inversion. And so that's why this use of inversions is helping keeping things moving and also smoothing out some of the harmonic jumps that we're doing. And you will find this an awful lot strewn around lots of other songs. And if you're writing your own songs or your own arrangement of songs, if you can find an inversion that will work, that will lead you to the next chord, it just kind of feels that little bit nicer. And then we did the same thing. Happy birthday to you. So that also was an inversion of a D chord. Okay, usually the D has got D as the root and as the lowest note. All the inversion is we rejigged the order of the notes in that chord and we made F sharp the lowest note in the chord. Okay, so why did we introduce this inversion of D at this point? Well, for the same reason we used the inversion of the G prior to going to the C. It's because the bass note of the inversion was 1 fret below the root of the next chord. And this one is no different. We've got D with an F sharp in the bass, moving to G, 1 fret below, to our destination chord. If you want to really juice things up, not only can you use the first inversion of the D chord with the F sharp in the bass, but then you can also adjust that D to be a D7, so you have that tone, that flat 7 tension tone leading from C to B. Okay, we're going to go up to level 3 now, adding more complexity. And a little aside, it's probably more like level 4 because it does get a lot more complex. We're going to do a jazzy version, all right? And this is cool. This is going to be interesting. Let me play it to you and then we'll talk about it. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to never. Happy birthday to you. Okay, so what was going on there? Well, we changed to bar chords first of all. We played a G bar chord, and instead of going straight to our D bar chord, we inserted a diminished chord between the G and the D. Now, diminished chords are super underrated and unique, and I love using them to add some colour and interest. Only 2 rules really about diminished chords in terms of practical use. Number 1 is you can insert a diminished chord before any major or minor chord. So as you can see, we inserted it before the C major. The only other rule is that if you want to insert it before any major or minor chord, you play the diminished 7th chord 1 fret lower down than the chord you're about to land on. So let's talk about starting chord and destination chord. That might make it simpler. We've got a start chord of G and we've got a destination chord of C. Okay, we need to put a diminished 7th chord before the destination chord. And to follow the rules, that's okay, we can do that, but we need to put it 1 fret lower than the root of the destination chord. So this destination chord is D, so our diminished 7th chord is going to be 1 fret lower than D, which is C sharp. Another thing, if you're going to insert a diminished chord, it will, in terms of timing, it usually steals half a bar from the start chord. So before we had a G to D, we had a bar of G, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a bar of D, 1, 2, 3, 4. The diminished chord will steal half a bar from the start chord, which is the G. So it will go only half a bar of G before it changes to the C sharp diminished. It will go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Okay, so that's our diminished chord inserted. Sounds pretty jazzy. And you can do this in any of your chord progressions, okay? Songs you're writing, things you want to kind of change, that's a cover version of your own arrangement, that kind of stuff. All right, moving on, what happens next? Well, what happened was I moved from a D to a D7 to a D9 to a D7 flat 9. So it's all D, it's just there was this movement from so again, there's a melody note, or there's a note in the chord there that's moving instead of just it staying all the time just on that D being static and all the notes being the same. So we went from D, D7, D9, D7, flat 9, and then we headed back to the G, but we made it more of a jazzy G with a G13. This is an awesome chord. And then we went up to Happy Birthday. Went to a B minor 11, and then to a C major 6. Then we went Happy Birthday. Went to that that inversion of G, G with a B in the bass. Happy Birthday. And then we did this. 2. Okay, so that is also a diminished chord, which you can insert before what? Any major or minor chord. So we inserted it before the ending G. Okay, and the rules are, if you're going to insert a diminished chord, you insert it 1 fret below your destination chord. Destination chord was G. Okay, so the root is G, so we're playing an F sharp diminished 7. And the thing with diminished 7s is you can slide them 3 frets and they are still the same chord. It's one of the unique qualities of diminished chords. I'm not going to go too much into that, but you can slide it up. And you can hear it, it really leads into a nicely resolved G, but at the end I didn't play the final G, I played a G6-9 here. Okay, so that's our 3 levels of complexity. I've got the tab here, you can download the tab. I wasn't going to run through every fingering of every chord because it takes too long to explain. You could also run through some other stuff. You could do like a punk version. You could go Happy another song. Okay, anyway, that's 3 levels of Happy Birthday. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Have fun. Please subscribe if you'd like to hear more from me. Hit the like button, give me a thumbs up, and also let me know how you're going and what you want me to cover, explain, talk about, whatever you like. Okay, this is Phil from 15-Minute Guitar Practice saying bye for now. Cheers. Alright, so we're going from our G bar chord, which is 3E, 5A, 5D, 6G, 3B, and 3E. Then we're going to our C sharp diminished. Okay, C sharp diminished, we start with the C sharp note on the A string, so we're going 4A, 5D, 3G, 5B, and you could play 3E if you wanted to. That's our C sharp diminished. Then we're going to D bar chord. Okay, so that's nothing on the E, 5A, 7D, 7G, 7B, and 5 on the top E. Then I move to D7, which is, oh gosh, you should know this, but anyway, it's 5 on the A string, nothing on the E, 5A, 7 on the D, 5 on the G, 7 on the B, and 5 on the E. Then we move to D9, which is like this. Looks like a D7 chord with an extra pinky. So that is nothing on the E, 5 on the A string, 4D, 5G, 5B, and you can just play that, or you can squish pinky down a little bit and get the 5 on the top E as well. Whatever you feel like. Then we play D7 flat 9. Now if this was D9 and this is the 9, all we do is move that down 1 fret. So from there I've just gone to this kind of shape. So we're playing 5A, 4D, 5G, and 4 on the B string. Okay, and then we went to this great G13 chord. Okay, so we're actually playing the E string now. We're playing 3E, nothing on the A string, 3D, 4G, and 5B. Then the next chord was a B minor 11. Okay, that is at the 7th fret. We've got 7E, nothing on the A, then 7D, 7G, and 5 on the top, 5 on the B string. And no top E, just these guys. Then I went to the C major 6, which is here. C major 6, 8th fret. 8 on the E, nothing on the A string, 7 on the D string, 9 on the B string, and 8 again on the B string, did I say? So it should be 9 on the G, and 8 on the B, sorry. Here's our C major 6. Then we went to that inversion. Okay, so this is an inversion of G. It's G/B. So G with a B in the bass. And that is 7 on the E, nothing on the A, and then 5 D string, 7 on the G string, and 8 on the B. Okay, and then we went from there to the F sharp diminished chord, which we slid up 3 frets at a time, several times over. F sharp diminished, we are at the 4th fret. Okay, 4, nothing on the E, nothing on the A. 4 on the D, 5 on the G, 4 on the B, and 5 on the top E. And we slid up 3 frets. And then we ended beautifully with a G6-9 up here at the 10th fret. Okay, G6-9, nothing on the E. Then we've got 10 on the A string, 9 on the D string, 9 on the G string, 10 on the B string, and 10 on the top E. And that's all the chords for the jazzy version of Happy Birthday.